Welcome to the Business of Travel, the official podcast of the Global Business Travel Association. I'm Suzanne Neufang, CEO of GBTA. The business travel industry is fueled by innovative supplier companies who focus on serving the needs to both corporate travel programs and the travelers those corporate customers send out on the road for work trips. GBTA is fortunate to have many of those innovative supplier companies serving on our Allied Leadership Council, comprised of our top industry supporters across several travel categories. In this podcast mini-series, GBTA Allied Leadership Council, or ALC members, and other key executives from their companies discuss top company areas of focus, the latest business travel trends they're seeing, and what the future holds for corporate travel programs. And in today's episode, we're diving into hospitality industry trends with executives from Marriott International. We'll explore the current state of business travel and what Marriott is focused on to serve customers in this space. So it's my pleasure to welcome two top executives today, Tammy Routh, Senior Vice President at Marriott International and the President of GBTA's Allied Leadership Council, and Drew Pinto, EVP and Chief Revenue and Technology Officer for Marriott International. Welcome, Drew and Tammy.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for joining for today's discussion here at home. So let's start with the power of partnerships. In today's rapidly evolving business travel landscape, how do strategic partnerships contribute to top-line growth for hotel companies, the buyers, and the suppliers?
Well, Suzanne, let me start first by just thanking you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you and to your members today. It's always great to have this opportunity. And so we're really grateful that we're able to share our thoughts, and hopefully it'll be helpful to people out there. And I think this is a great place to start because, as we all know, strategic partnerships, they are so important to our business. When you take a look at the traveler experience, and that could be, of course, a leisure traveler, or a corporate traveler, or a meeting attendee, right? They all have a customer journey that we want to deliver. That takes all of us to deliver that. It's multifaceted. There's a lot of players involved. So for us, we look at partnerships as a way to deliver what the guest wants and to make sure that they love our brands, they love our experience, and we need to do that with partners. I think a great example of that is the whole business transient shopping, booking, pricing process. We're all trying to make that better, but we know that the customer still wants more from us. So that's a great place where we want to continue to work together to reinvent that process. For me in my job, having technology as part of my responsibilities now, I try to make sure that we view tech for what it is, which is it's an enabler. Right? It's there to help, and it's there to unlock certain processes or experiences, but it's not the only solution or the only part of the solution that matters. It should be there, and we should use it appropriately. But really, in the technology space, though, it needs to work for all parties, and we all need to be involved in that. So, of course, we're concerned about the same things everyone else is, right? We want to give a great traveler experience. We want to provide duty of care. We want to help the suppliers execute. We also need to consider the economics behind it, as we always do. But when you put that all together, to me, the bedrock of all that is the partnerships that we have and the great relationships we have across the industry. Tammy, anything else you want to add on that?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, thank you, Drew. I certainly agree with everything you said. And we've talked a lot over the years about just how much this industry is changing. And I can say, having worked with our B2B customers for many, many years, I don't think we've ever been so dependent on one another, both the supplier and the buyer community. And this industry is getting more complex. With technology and other innovation moving forward. And I just think that we just have to continue to work on, we use the word partnership sometimes very freely, and we just have to come together and understand it is shared risk and it is shared reward. And that takes a lot of dedication and work, but we're ready for it. And I think, Drew, you mentioned the BT pricing process is just one of many, an antiquated, time-consuming exercise for all of us in the ecosystem. So we just look forward to working with our customers on that.
Sounds like a lot of interdependencies that we need to watch for going forward, for sure. And part of that certainly has to do, you mentioned tech, both of you. Let's touch on AI, which everybody is talking about, and guest experience. So while AI seems to be the hot topic in everyone's minds, as it continues to advance, how is Marriott International leveraging this powerful tech to enhance the business traveler experience? And what else can or should we be thinking about within that?
Great question. And yes, the topic of AI, it is everywhere. I knew it was everywhere when I went to the Consumer Electronics Show last year and they had an AI powered lawnmower. And I thought, okay, so that means AI has really penetrated every part of our lives, because you would have never thought that mowing your lawn would be aided by artificial intelligence. I still don't really understand where the AI was in that product, but we'll leave that for another time. First, I just want to mention, Tammy and I are very proud that we work for a company that's almost 100 years old. And I bring that up because innovation has been part of our ability to perform and excel over 100 years. But that innovation has taken a lot of different forms over the years, as you could imagine. So we are embracing AI. We definitely view it, I personally view it as revolutionary. The pace at which it's changing and adapting and getting more powerful is really just incredible. And so we see more and more applications of it in our business as we go. I will say we are doing a test and learn type of approach to really make sure that some of these technologies will work for us and before we scale them, to our hotels. But there's a few spots where we really see that it can be helpful. And it's kind of a three-part strategy, which is straightforward, but there's a lot of expertise and a lot of detail within those three areas. First, of course, is for our guests. So as consumers, we see AI and have AI coming into our lives in lots of different places. We want to use those tools to make the guest experience much better. One place we're doing that now, where we're experimenting with our homes and villas product, is something we call natural language search, where you can basically go in and we break all the search paradigms of where exactly do you want to go on what dates. And you can look by different attributes or qualities of the hotel. You want something near a beach where you can bring your dogs that has great Italian food nearby, that type of thing. We're having good results with it in the test and really working on how we're going to scale that to all our digital sites. Second thing is we have a lot of feedback from our customers that they have lots of questions pre-arrival, before they arrive at the hotel. Everything from check-in time to restaurants available, you name it. We're looking into ways that AI could help there to really enrich that interaction between the guest, the hotel, and our customer engagement centers who often field those questions. So we're really excited about that on the guest side. There's much more that would take up your full podcast, but just to give you a flavor of the guest experience is front and center. But also equally important is for our associates. So we have done the studies in the research, and our associates spend a lot of time on manual tasks that take them away from what they want to do, which is serve our customers. And so we're seeing lots of opportunities, whether it's things like data entry or creating reports or process improvements. Nothing on its face is that sexy to read about and look into, but it could be really powerful for our associates because they very clearly told us that they want to spend more time on the things that they love to do in their jobs. And data entry is not one of those things, for example. And then finally, third part of the strategy is for our investors, our owners, and our franchisees. Obviously, very important stakeholders for us, but they are equally interested in collaborating with us on how we use these tools to help both the top line performance, guest satisfaction in their hotels, which they're very focused on, and then, of course, the profitability of their operations. They continue to be under increased stress from rising costs across the board. And so we're looking to say, can technology help here? For example, we're testing out AI to manage forecasts for food production so that we reduce food waste. And I know that there are others in the industry looking at things like that as well. There's a variety of places where we think we can achieve both satisfaction for the guest, for the associate, and also improve the operational profitability of our hotels. Tammy, anything on that one you'd like to ask? I know you've been my partner in this in the BT world for sure, making sure we use these tools in the right way.
Yeah, I think about this a lot. Thank goodness global sales reports up through Drew, where he can make an impact to all of the technology and different needs that we have. I think that maybe I'll give a few more examples to bring it home. Our B2B customers, so whether the travel buyers, the people who plan meetings and events, they've told us time and time again, we need our account reps to spend more time on strategy and less on tactics. And so what Drew just described that's how we're trying to think about how can we use AI to help the sales team so they can in turn help the customers. So customer service is one of those. We get a lot of questions that could easily be answered in a more automated fashion, kind of like our customer engagement centers. So we're looking at how AI can help there. And Drew mentioned data entry. Think about, we get thousands of requests for meetings and events. And thank you, by the way, for everyone we receive. But that is a lot of data entry, manual intervention, and you don't want your salespeople doing that. So we're looking for ways, how do you use AI to automate that however the customer sends that, pulls it right into our systems. And so those are just a couple of examples in addition to data and analytics, which is important for everyone.
Again, technology as an enabler, making everyone on your team stand out for what they bring strategically to the table. That sounds like a great effort, and it must tie in to Marriott's overall technology transformation. I understand from you, Tammy, that Marriott is going through the largest tech transformation in your company's history. So, Drew, can you tell us a little bit more about that and how it will ultimately impact your guests and especially your B2B customers?
Yes, absolutely. And I want to start by giving a big thank you, both to you personally, Suzanne, and also to all our customers out there for coming along the journey with us and being very patient and also giving us feedback as we go along this journey, which we're making really exciting progress on, which I'll share with you here in a second. So yes, we are undergoing the biggest technology and digital transformation in our company's history. What that means is we are addressing our core systems, our major core platforms of reservations, property management, and loyalty. But the reason we call it a digital and technology transformation is it's much more than that. We are touching more or less every single area of technology that both faces the guest, but also faces our internal operations. And I think this is a really strong realization and commitment by the company to understand that digital and tech now has become a core part of our operations. And for us to achieve the growth plans that we have ahead of us and to get the customer satisfaction and customer relationships that we want to have in the future, we need to have this enablement there from our technology and our digital assets. We have a saying on the team that we keep everybody grounded on, which is human-centered, tech-enabled. So again, we are very much focused on this is still about associates giving great service to our customers, our salespeople giving great service to our big accounts. Just everyone out there realizing that these platforms are going to be an unlock and an enablement of what we want to do. But to do that, we have to really get on these new platforms, which we're excited to do. Second thing is that we have another strategy is buy for commodity and build for differentiation. For those who have worked with Marriott for a while or have worked for us at any point in their careers, they will know that we were always a build it internal type of company because Marriott is different. And we had to make sure that we did it specifically for us. Well, we've had an epiphany and realized that the best strategy is to use the best in class players out there for the things that are more commodity type services or capabilities. And then the stitching together of it and the use of the data and pulling it through to the customer. That's where our differentiation and value truly is. And so that strategy is now coming to life all the way down to the technical architecture that we're building. And
Could
so,
you could you give an example of what that would a commodity, for example, that you would buy as a commodity and then differentiate? I think our listeners would love to hear about an example.
oh, sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So our reservation system, our current one is one that we built. I won't tell everyone how long ago we built it. We'll keep that internal, but let's just say it's time for it to be replaced. We are now partnering with Amadeus with their central reservation system. That is a community-based product. So what that means is any code we co-develop with them, any features we add, that's also available to their other customers in the market, which include IHG and MGM, and I believe there are others in the pipeline. So this, in the past would have been something that Marriott would have been uncomfortable with, but the way we look at it is many of those features and functions, everyone will be replicating at some point anyways. And so really what our job is and where we think we can differentiate from our competitors is how we pull that together, say, with our Bonvoy program or in our Marriott Bonvoy app, or how it gets pulled through on property, or the portfolio of products and services, both room and non-room, that we offer to our customers. The differentiation is there. It's not in the being able to shop and book for a hotel room. I don't want to dismiss how important those systems are. Amadeus has been an incredible partner. They've put millions and millions of investment into this product in order to offer it to the industry. So commodity by no means is a negative term. It just means of where does Marriott play and win versus its competitors by giving the guest the best experience. That's where we want to focus our efforts internally, working with our partners.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I think depending on where in the ecosystem our listeners will be sitting, they have various views of commodities that happen in their own industry. And I think that's just a really useful example about where you plan to differentiate. So keep going.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, it's a great, actually, thank you for asking, because it's a great connection back to what we talked about at the beginning in partnerships. As Tammy mentioned, that term can be defined quite broadly, but this is a case of, we have partners, of course, our top global accounts who are partners with, delivering their meetings and delivering their business travel. But then we also have partners too on the technology side who oftentimes are also customers of ours, but then deliver these best-in-class solutions and invest at a level that, I would expect most of us in the industry wouldn't be able to invest at those levels. So by thinking through ways that you can do complex strategic partnerships to achieve those goals, I think is really powerful. And I'm glad that I'm able to be a part of it, right, in this role, and I have 21 years now here at Marriott. So to see the change and to see the results that it's going to drive is really exciting. It's very energizing for me, and I know for our team. In terms of timing, we are actually getting close here. So we've been talking about it for a while. So I know that people out in the industry are probably wondering, is it really going to happen? And the answer is yes. We're actually going to start launching our first hotels in the second half of this year in the United States. It will be our Marriott Select brands that will start, and then we'll be rolling from there. So it is imminent, and we're in testing right now, and we're really excited about it.
Wow, exciting. Tammy, what do customers say about this?
Now, it's probably, well, not probably, is the number one topic that every customer wants to talk about. Not only what Marriott is doing, but also what role technology is going to play in their world going forward. And I think Drew said, we started with partnership, we're going to end with partnership, because every single conversation is about, well, first of all, we all know how expensive technology is and how long it takes to implement. And it's very difficult to do, or we would all be moving much faster. And one of the things that I probably have learned the hard way is we maybe need to get out in front of this sooner with our customers, because this has such a long runway. So whether that is customers who want to buy direct from us, customers who want to buy through a connected partner, what I've learned is that neither one side can do this in a silo. So as we're going through this, Drew has been amazing about listening to the B2B customer voice and figuring out how that works within our tech transformation and our journey. But I think on the customer side, the ask would be for suppliers is get us involved early, get us involved often, because picking a tech partner, and there's so many emerging players in this space, picking someone that doesn't work with your key suppliers is going to cause a real heartache, and it doesn't have to be that difficult. So we're just up for the challenge in looking how, and we'll be very transparent in what we can and cannot do. But we're very excited about the future because I think it's never been really more exciting, consumer based. I think no business travelers want to book travel like they do in their personal lives. So it's a very exciting opportunity, and we really look forward to working with our customers so that we're both successful in this journey.
I think some keywords I'm taking away from today's conversation is human-centered, tech-enabled, partnerships at the center. The future looks great. I think there are so many things that Drew, you and Tammy both spoke about today that we'll take with us out of today. And while that's all the time we have today, I know that there will be lots of conversations that are driven out of what you just told us today. So thanks so much, Drew and Tammy, for both your insights and your support at Marriott International. There's a lot to look forward to in our industry, of course, and beyond. And I know that GBTA and our members value what you and your teams at Marriott International do for business travelers, for our industry, and of course, for our association. So thanks for your consistent and generous support, and especially for joining me today. And as we close, I want to thank all of you at home for listening to today's conversation. I'm Suzanne Neufang, CEO of GBTA, and I've been speaking with Drew Pinto, who is Marriott International's EVP and Chief Revenue and Technology Officer, and Tammy Routh, Marriott International's Senior Vice President and the President of GBTA's Allied Leadership Council. You've been listening to The Business of Travel, the official podcast of the Global Business Travel Association. For more information about GBTA and our work, visit gbta.org. And please be sure to rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, thanks for listening.